Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome each and everyone who have joined us tonight. My name is Nestana. Will be Nestana, forever be Nestana. Tonight, if today is your first time joining us, on my channel, we do project Ghana first, and we do uphold Ghana to the highest pinnacle. Make sure you follow me and you follow my host, myself, and then the guest that I have on my show. Um, about 2 weeks ago, we did have the opportunity of meeting Mr. Uh, Kofi Koranteng. Um, yeah, we had the opportunity of having Mr. Kofi Koranteng on the show, and today you spoke to me, you came into my DM, and then you said, "Oh, bring Mr. Kofi Koranteng again," because the ideas he put on the table was massive, and so we want to hear more of him. And at that point, we did a bit of we tapped into some different sectors of the economy, and then we got a general impression of who Mr. Kofi Koranteng is. Today, we want to go into detail to know who we want to vote for in 2028. Why should we vote for Mr. Kofi Koranteng? Who is he? Where was he born? How did he get himself into politics? How his lifestyle as a Ghanaian in the United States was, what he did in the United States in terms of job, what the struggles have been when he decided that he was going to run for politics and other things. So we will run somehow deep into his lifestyle, and he's aware. It's not like we are putting him on the spot. Yeah, he's aware that we want to get into his lifestyle, deep into who Mr. Kofi Koranteng is, and then we all make the decision if Mr. Kofi Koranteng is our man for 2028, how would we get him to Flagstaff House? That is our major target tonight. So I'll get the ball rolling, and then we'll ask a couple of questions. It's going to be like a question and answer forum where I might come in when he's answering some questions. So don't people down there, please don't worry when I come in, because we want to get more of him, and we know he's a very busy man, so we can't take a whole 2 3 hours of his time. We need to give him time so that he can also have some rest. Kofi, na apume.
Nyame adom biribiara bɔkɔ yɛkyia abusuafoɔ a mohwɛ yɛn nyinaa. Nti we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get into it because I know people are waiting. It's your call, but I like to just hit the ground running. That's the kind of person I am. No chit chatting of no value. I want to get into it. So I know you have a lot of questions for me, but what I'm hoping I'll be able to do is I want to make it a lot easier for everybody who's watching, and also position everybody who's in wants to ask questions. So I want to encapsulate everything for you. Why are we here? Why is Kofi Koranteng into this thing? And then once we do that, then you could go into all the other, the dessert stuff, the appetizer stuff. Unless, of course, you want to just make it strictly, you ask the question, I answer, you ask, I answer. It's up to you. So I've given you a choice. We could do that way, or I could encapsulate pretty much everything for you why we're here and why the moment is now and not later, and why this represents the best time for us as a youth to take the baton, not wait for the baton to be passed to us, but to snatch the baton, because we are in a moment of time where if we miss it, we can forget about it. It's going to be another 100 years before we even come close to catching it again. So your call. Shoot.
I think that I've got my questions, but what I normally
Okay,
do
good.
is that I want to give you an opportunity to flow, and when you say next time I come in with your questions, then I can chip in, because I know you are ready. You are ready for the interview. So I will give you a length of time for you to flow. Tell us from scratch who Kofi Koranteng is to where you've gotten to now, and then we know more about you, and then I can come with my individual questions. In that way, I think it gives you an opportunity to flow and then to be able to address the people who have waited here and waiting for Mr. Kofi Koranteng.
Excellent. So, how's the volume like? How's the sound quality?
100%.
Excellent. So, nurse, like we did the last time, I was born in Ghana. Um, my dad was a police officer, so I went through, everyday transfer. I don't know, nowadays it doesn't happen like that. But back in the days, every couple of months transfer. So I went through a lot of schools. But the main schools I went to, Agri Memorial International, right next to Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Then I went to University Primary in Cape Coast, then to Garrison Primary in Kumasi. I sat my common entrance, went to Adisado College. I'm a Santa for real.
Oh, wow.
Then I came to London, went to a couple of schools in London, did engineering at Enfield College, then came to New York, went to NYU, New York University, studied business and some finance, worked on Wall Street. I'm married with 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I've lived in New York for over 37 years. And I've traveled the world. I've traveled pretty much every major country in the world I have gone to because now I didn't go for the fun of it. To a large extent, in the beginning, I went for the fun. But when I decided I wanted to present myself to serve my people, I went to sea because I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave any stone unturned, that I really understood what I was doing. I wasn't just presenting myself as we see people do now. They have a little bit of money, they present themselves that because they have money, they think they can run. So I went to countries, and before I went, what I did, nurse, is I went through agencies and I made special requests to meet with developers and builders of the nation. And I paid a lot of money to be able to sit with people when I went to these countries, so that they would tell me how they built their countries. That's what I did. So it wasn't vacation. I went there to learn and to
Mhm.
understand and to test myself that, do you have this thing right? Is this not just, you think you can fix this Ghana problem? Do you have it right? And that's what I did. And I spent over $250,000 I spent to do this, going around just checking myself into these countries at the very high level because I wanted to see excellence, the highest level, and then draw a standard. If you have to build a Ghana again, how are you going to build it? Now, in New York, I worked on Wall Street. So I really got an understanding more than any candidate of how money works, the psychology of money on Wall Street. There's no better place in the world than to get trained at Wall Street.
Mhm.
And because of my engineering background, I understood mechanics, how things ought to work to get a result. As an engineer, you always ask questions. Well, how does this thing work? How
Yeah.
do you get the result? That's what the interest of an engineer is. So the finance and the engineering kind of married very well. And in 20, was it 2015, I believe it was, I came, Akufo-Addo government came in, Mahama ended 2016. So 2017, Akufo-Addo government came, they did the diaspora event, and I came hoping that I was going to be able to hear some competent leaders direct the diaspora to do something for Ghana. And it was talk as usual. They didn't have a plan. They didn't know what they were doing. Half the time, what was his name? Minister for Information at that time, Mustafa Hamid,
Mm.
said Akufo-Addo and the ministers were at a retreat at Peduase Lodge. And I got very upset and I attacked them. I stood up in the middle of the conference and I said, you guys don't know what you're doing. You spent 6 months to invite us to come to Ghana for the diaspora to talk to you about how we're going to integrate into the system. And you guys are at Peduase Lodge having a retreat. You didn't know that this day was going to come 6 months ago when you planned it? What kind of people are you? Do you think?
Mm.
And, if you go online, you could search and you would see that clip went viral. And everybody started calling me, oh, Kofi, listen, man, people, Paul Adomoche interviewed me. A couple of people called me into their studios, all joy. And so people started calling me, hey, Kofi, you want to run for president? Because you said some. So I said, no, I don't want to run for president. I just want to come into a country that works. And just like with all the other candidates, take advantage of what works and build myself, So lo and behold, a gentleman called me and said he was willing to pay for me to get into politics and run for president. They were going to fund me, give me all the money, all that good stuff. And long story short, that's how I started politics. Everybody sometimes asks me, Kofi, how on earth did you think you were going to get into politics with your little chump change? My little $1.5 million that I brought into the politics was not what I had in mind. Somebody had promised me a big lump of money. Unfortunately, that person stroked out and died before I could get to the 2020 elections.
Wow.
But then I was stuck in the middle because I had cut out all my bridges, and I only had one thing in front of me, which is the presidency. So I went in for it. Unfortunately, we got disqualified for something we didn't do. And then I had to start all over again in the 2024. In 2024, we got on the ballot, and this is where we are today. So that's just to get you to think, how on earth did the audacity of me get into politics? This is how it happened. So now that we in it now, let me tell you where my position is. If you take a look at, and I'm going to take you a little bit through the geopolitics of the noun, and then I'll bring you to Ghana. If you take a look at the BRICS-led China, and then you take a look at the American-led G7, you see where the world is going. The world is now. Every 3 years, it's like the world moves about 100 years ahead. And Ghana gets left further and further behind because our leaders are not, they are local thinkers with level 1 minds. They do not understand that the world we are operating in, you have to have a global perspective and a strategy for global dominance. Because it's only one market, the global market. They don't understand. So because I worked on Wall Street, we worked in cycles, and the cycle we worked in was the biggest chunk of money that we targeted on Wall Street was people who were born between 1946 to 1964. They call them the baby boomers. At the time, at the height of my career, we were targeting 77 million people in this segment going through, number one, they go through college, they graduate from college, they start getting jobs, they get homes, real estate, they start saving pensions, and they mature in their pensions and they diversify. And in their maturity, they start planning for elder care. So you go into long-term care planning. So this spectrum, and then it takes them to their end of life. So this spectrum was what I made the most amount of money in because I understood the cycle. I was following a group of people through a cycle, and everywhere they got to was a chunk of money, and we planned our business to make money. So when they got into the real estate, I was in the real estate. When they got into investing, I was into investing. First in mutual funds, they got a little bit sophisticated, so they went into stocks. Then they got into diversification when they were getting older. So we got into maybe variable annuities and REITs, real estate investment trust, and then that went into the elder care investment plans, where retirement plans, and then to their elder care, long-term care planning, so that they would have somebody to take care of them when they were finally in their retirement, end of life. So I looked at Ghana to see how we could benefit from this, and a couple of things that came to realization.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people who would have made the 77 million baby boomers were not in Ghana. They had left Ghana for greener pastures. Okay, so Ghana technically does not have a middle class. The middle class lives abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two segments of people: the very rich and the people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and most of them are not even living. Because the median income, majority of people in Ghana live under 5,000 cedis a month.
100%.
And 5,000 cedis a month is not a lot of money, but a lot of people think, man, I wish I was earning 5,000 cedis a month. So what I'm saying is if you take a look at the majority of Ghanaians who have fled Ghana and living abroad, they're the ones who are supposed to create an engine for Ghana's economic combustion. The 640 billion cedis of debt that we have, we cannot repay that. It's not possible because we don't have enough activity to absorb that. How are we going to absorb it? The way you're going to absorb it is people buying homes, people buying cars, people buying real estate and land, and building factories, and not the government doing it, middle class doing it. But how can middle class do it if there's no money? And the people who have the competence and the complexities don't live in the country. So what I did was I said, okay, Kofi, if you're going to win this election, or you have a chance of winning, you have to do something for the people who would be your base, Ghanaians who live abroad, to be able to vote. So I took the Attorney General and the government of Ghana Electoral Commission to court to get them to get Ghanaians abroad to be able to vote, with the organization that was CEO with, which is Progressive Alliance Movement. We won the case against the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General. They never implemented Representation of the People's Amendment Act.
Mm.
To this day, they haven't implemented because the governments of NDC and MPP do not want Ghanaians abroad to be able to vote, because if the Ghanaians abroad can vote, they can very easily get rid of NDC and MPP.
Mm.
And because they want to maintain the stranglehold, they did not get the electoral commissioner to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Act. You see, so now this is it. People put their money where their mouth is. Okay, if Ghanaians abroad who bring in $6 billion every year are not allowed to come and vote in a system where they want to be part of and invest, they're not going to bring their money because they don't trust the system. And this is one of the biggest problems I have as a candidate. Ghanaians abroad who I am relying on to help me finance what I'm doing are not willing to finance me because they don't trust the system. They can come and spend 2 weeks, a month, and go back. But they're not going to come live in Ghana. We don't have medical. We don't have, and I'm going to go over the things with you. So my plan to have gotten Ghanaians abroad to be able to vote so that they could have an invested interest in the country so that they could bring their money did not work. Well, it worked, but the NDC, MPP governments did not allow for the implementation of ROPA. So, you know, I was left out in the cold. But the bigger problem that these guys don't have the brains to think that I talk about is this. There is no way Mahama Akufo-Addo or anybody else in Ghana will be able to resuscitate the economics of Ghana because, nurse, please think about this, and everybody watching. Where is the money going to come from? Let me tell you, the people in Ghana, millions of them are small ticket people. Small ticket means they will buy the wache, go out to a funeral, contribute, but they're not going to buy cars, electric cars, and buy vehicles, get mortgages, and spend. Then they're not that. You with me? That's not. Now, there are going to be a lot of people, a few people at the top, the despots and all the other rich people at the top who spend the big money.
Yeah.
But they don't spend the big money in Ghana. When they buy the Maybachs and the big rollers and the Ferraris and all the big cars, the Bentleys, Ghana don't make Bentleys.
No.
Ghana don't make IWCs or Patek Philippe's or all the other big watches. Ghana don't make them. So the big people at the top will spend the money, but they'll go to Dubai, they go to US, they go to London, all these other places and spend the money and bring the goods home. Right or right?
Yeah.
So Ghana will not get the benefit of the money. They only see the results, the cars coming through the ports, and they get a little bit of money. So we will never be able to take care of that 640 billion cedis of debt. We can't. There's no activity to absorb it because the people who are responsible for absorbing that are the middle incomers and they don't live in Ghana. And you are not doing anything to bring them to Ghana. So to fix the system, I'm the only one who talks about a diaspora secretariat where we will have a functioning government system that will allow for Nerstana calling, I'm in London, I want to come to Ghana, I want to move to Ghana permanently, I'm coming with 3 kids, I have 4 wives, 6 dogs. Oh, really? Okay, good. We're going to accommodate you. Now, what are your choices? Do you want to live in Accra, Tema? You tell us. Oh, no, I want to go into farming, so I want to go into the north or wherever you can give me maybe 10 or 20 acres for me to acquire and do some farming, You have all the machinery there. Okay, good. The government will allow you to come in with all these things, and the government is who will take care of all of that logistics for you. You don't have any headache. You bring your stuff to the port. They tell you, matter of fact, before you get in that Nerstana, all your stuff shipped in, you have to pay $5,000. But because of Kofi Koranteng, we have a special policy where if you have lived abroad for 7 years or more, if you are coming in, you could bring 1 car, you could bring goods of up to maybe 100,000, da 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 da. You don't pay anything, zero, nothing, nada. Bring it in. And the reason is because if you can allow Nestana to come in, he comes in not only with himself by himself, but everything he's acquired abroad and his family. And they all represent a lot of dollars. By them coming into Ghana, it becomes equity for Ghana's growth.
Mm.
And by virtue of them coming in, Nestana is not going to come to Ghana and say, he's going to do something. Even if he gets one driver, he has to pay the driver. That's absorbing a liability of the government's responsibility.
Yeah.
So everything every Ghanaian living abroad does will help the Ghanaian, and it will take the load off the government for it to prepare for long term. The government don't understand that. Simple. And this is why we bring us here today, that with the BRICS, with the China-controlled BRICS, the West has not helped Ghana. The way the BRICS works with all the other countries of the world is, this is what we can do for you. If you want us, let us come in and we'll do this for you. And this is what we want in return. If you take a look at it and it looks equitable, good, let's do business. The West wants to control you, wants to tell you what you need to get, how much you need to pay for, what the terms are, control, control, control. That's what the West is. And that's why China has passed the West. China is more favorable in terms of negotiations than the West is. And that's why the whole world now, after what happened in Russia, America putting a clamp on Russia's dollars, the whole world is de-dollarizing. And now BRICS is operating in RMB. You see? So the SWIFT system that the West used to control is not in control anymore. Now they have a new system. And gradually is pushing the dollar and the SWIFT system to the side. We can be part of that BRICS success system, but what do we bring to the table? It would have been nice if we had our gold, but these clowns are giving our gold away for some stupid reason like Forex. They don't understand that you don't buy Forex, you create Forex. The way you create Forex is you create it through industry. Because everybody in Ghana goes out, the government goes out to the commodities market of the world. When you go, you have to, the standard for business is dollars, at least for now.
Yeah.
So you have to give dollars. You have to give your product, and somebody buys your product, they pay it in dollars. Then you take the dollars and you put it in your central bank. And if your country wants to go and buy machines and factories and that's what they use. But you cannot go to the commodities market of the world with nothing. This is what we do. We go with nothing. We go, and the only thing we're going now with is our gold. Who sets the gold? London Bullion sets the gold. So when London Bullion used to set the gold, we didn't get anything from small scale because London Bullion said because we were not mining the correct way, responsible mining, it will not give us credit, foreign exchange reserve credit. So now they came out with Gold Board and said, well, we're going to get everybody to go and mine and come sell us the gold, and we will not take it to London Bullion because it won't qualify for foreign exchange credit. We will take it to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and then when we get the gold, we will come and artificially pump that into our Forex through Bank of Ghana so that everybody who needs money will go there and get it. But what happens is you balloon the problem, because if everybody is going to Ghana, Bank of Ghana to get Forex and using that money to go and import, how smart is that? You're not growing and building your local indigenous market. You just bringing in more stuff from abroad. You just importing more stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
don't have control over inflation. You don't have control over goods. And that system never stops because you haven't built a foundation. You would always need money to pump into the system, and people will always come, take the money, and go and import stuff. Wouldn't it make more sense for you to go through maybe some first 6 months, even first year would have been tough. But if they have done the right thing by putting the money into agriculture, at least all the cassava, all the yam, all the peppers, and all the other cocoa, all the other, maybe not cocoa, but all the other stuff would have been ready for cultivation, and we'll be able to export that and get foreign exchange reserve. That's not how these people think. They want money now because they want to win the next election. And in the process, people are suffering. So what Kofi Koranteng is saying is, guys, there is no way this vicious cycle will end unless we do 5 things. Just 5 things. First thing, we need to change the constitution to make it illegal for MPP and NDC to bankrupt Ghana and still get away with it. Number 2, we need to eradicate corruption. The level of corruption in Ghana, it's mind-blowing. When has it been 1 week that you have listened to the news from Ghana that there hasn't been a scandal? Every week there's a scandal. Somebody stole this money, this group, and you know what's upsetting? They do it and they get away with it because the Constitution allows them. You never hear somebody saying, oh, this situation happened and we have found out what it is and now we're going to make sure that never happens again. No, it's, hey, we saw this person steal this amount of money, we've caught them, and the next week something else happens. It means we're not a people who think. Our leaders don't think. And they have allowed themselves to do that because it allows everybody to tap into the coffers and steal money. So change the constitution, eradicate corruption, institute a national development plan. Listen, people were talking about, oh, Mahama is not able to do much because he only has 4 years. Dumb, 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 and dumb. 4 years is more than enough. Even if it's 1 year, it's more than enough because the job of a president is not to stay forever because you have good ideas. If you have good ideas, bring in a template. If Nerstana is a builder and he starts building and God forbid he drops dead tomorrow, does that mean no other architect can continue the building? No, he has a blueprint. So whoever architect comes in, we give him the blueprint and he says, okay, there's supposed to be 4 levels. We are 2, we go 2. And if the next builder, architect falls off and dies before we bring in another person, there's a blueprint. So your job as a president is to build a blueprint. That's the vision. And then you stay for 4 years and you go. When the next person comes, they continue. But the evil with these people is because they don't want to change the constitution to make it mandatory for everybody to follow suit, they think they have to be there forever. And Ghanaians buy into that nonsense. Oh, Mahama should come another time because 4 years is not enough. Dumb, dumb, double dumb. It has nothing to do with time. It has everything to do with strategy. And these guys don't have it. So, National Development Plan. Number 4, reduce the size of government by 73%. We have AI. We have AI. We have distributed ledger technology. We have, all these forms of technologies that we can use to do things for us. Listen, nurse, there are 275 constituencies in Ghana. Every constituency you go to, you could tell if you were there for 5 minutes. You could the moment you get into a constituency, you could tell. Do you have a hospital? No. We have to go to a Kwanta for healthcare. That's 15 miles away. If somebody's sick, they will die before they get there.
Yeah.
We need. So by virtue, you have a census. The census has the number of people at age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to age 70, last person who. So you could just take a look at the census, and through generative artificial intelligence, predict what every town, every village needs. Why do you need district rep, assembly rep, constituency rep, rep, minister? Why? Because it's their way for them to spend money. If you have 5,000 people in a town, you don't need a legislature to tell you for them to come and say they need a hospital, they need a police service, they need fire service, these are common sense things. So why do you need to employ somebody, give them a V8, buy petrol for them, give them all the stipends, give them, it's such a waste. Instead of putting the money into real development, this is what they do. You see, and this is why I am for, and the reason why I say reduce government by 73%, we don't need 275 parliamentarians, we need only 20. 20. Why not? Why not? Okay, so now, do you have 275 parliamentarians because you are hoping they'll be able to do a job, or you just like the number? Which is it?
So the job is too big, and they can't, just 20 people can't do that job.
Okay, so how do you evaluate that 20 people can't do a job? Because you are relating people to the job, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so now if I can come in and show you that there is a way to replace the people power with AI, then you wouldn't need the people. All you want is for the job to get done, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I could show you how to do that. If I could show you how to do that, do you need to employ the parliamentarians?
No, but then that means that people are also not going to get jobs to do.
Okay, how about retooling them and repositioning them into agriculture?
Everybody want the white collar job.
Whose fault is that? Not mine. Because you're not thinking right.
Yeah.
If everybody wants a white collar job because they think that's where the money is.
Yeah.
Because that's where most of the stealing is. But if I could retool you, retrain you, and put you in agriculture, and you make 10 times more money, then maybe people will start changing their mind about agriculture. And plus, we identify more than 15 sectors in agriculture: housing, investments, retirement planning, healthcare, nurseries, transportation, logistics, systems. 15. So if you want a white collar job, you could do a white collar job in the sector of agriculture. You could go into medicine, banking, mechanics, any aspect of business and life, you could find it in agriculture, because agriculture is about human beings. But these guys are not thinking. So that's the thing, reduce size of government by 73%. And the last thing is invest $10 billion into agriculture every year for the next 10 years and make Ghana the agricultural hub of the world, so that the whole world will come to us for their produce, organic. Because we could put the whole of Ghana into just Western North region. And the rest of Ghana we could use for agriculture. If our leaders are not dumb enough to keep doing galamsey to mess up all our lands and water. See? So this is the Kofi Koranteng thinking. 5 things. Change the constitution, eradicate corruption, institute a national development plan, reduce the size of government by 73%, and make Ghana the agricultural hub of the world. And all the money will come to Ghana because food is the most expensive commodity in the world. Everybody's got to eat. Everybody have to eat a couple of times a day, at least once a day. So if we have the best food coming out of Ghana, we will set up a plane, a depot, a hub in Western North, the Brong area, and all that does is all the food items will go there and it will be packaged and it will leave the Brong area and go to the rest of the world. And we would have all these planes just flying food all over the world. Why does it make sense to have Italians come to Ghana and have pineapple plantations and they take the pineapple? Ghanaians don't even have the benefit of tasting the pineapples. They take it to Italy. The Danish come here and plant orange plantations and they take it to Denmark. Why? Why can't we be the sole exporter of these fruits and vegetables to the rest of the world? Why are we allowing, I was listening to the agriculture, the minister the other day, dumb. These guys are really dumb. Oh, the Qatari government has purchased 2 billion of land in Ghana and they're going to be planting, they're going to use it for agriculture. I'm like, how stupid. And they think they're smart. And it's upsetting because you don't allow a foreign government to come purchase land here and grow crops. You grow it for them and you set the conditions for them, you stupid. I mean, how easy is this? And they think, hey, this is a bragging right. We got the Qatari government to come buy land here. They buy the land, it means they own the freaking land. And you have this guy for a minister. It's painful because it means it's almost like we all stupid. Why is it so difficult to understand this? So I'll leave it to you to ask your questions now. And you know, when I said build a national development plan, let me just say the national development plan addresses 10 things. If you don't do these 10 things, you cannot build a nation. Now, listen very carefully, nurse. Listen. The 10 things are housing, healthcare, employment, education, transportation, telecommunication, security, recreation, markets, and a functional central business district. Now, nurse, are you listening? Nurse?
I'm listening. I'm here.
In 32 years of the Fourth Republic, MPP and DC have not done one of these things well. One. Forget about the 10. One. How can you now tell me that these guys are set to build a nation? They're not about building a nation. Everything they're doing is they don't understand. And I want to be very reserved in the words that I use, but they just don't get it. I was listening to Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman, and she was chairing a development, a redistribution, and I was listening to her speak, and you could tell that they had written the notes for her to go and read it out. She was so detached from what she was saying. You could tell she didn't even know what she was talking about. And I look at her physiology and the things she was reading, and she finished and she said, well, she ushered the policy into effect. And I'm like, so what happens now? Everybody sitting there listening to you are incompetent. Everything you said you're going to be able to do, so there is interministerial, whatever they were talking about. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, she doesn't have a clue what she's saying.
No.
So when these ministers and these high government officials go into these meetings and they talk about, oh, we're going to do this. So I'm asking you, when does the work actually start? Does it start? Where does it start? How does it start? They just say things to make us think that they know something, but they're not doing anything. All these Ghana leaders do, including President Mahama, they'll go to events, chair events, talk stuff. They don't do anything. They don't know how to do anything. The real building of a nation, they do not understand. Listen, building of a nation is very strategic.
Yeah.
You can't just do things in isolation, because when you do things in isolation, it doesn't, it's not synergistic. It has to be in concert, synergistically in concert, so that when you put the first block and you lay the second and you lay the third, there is a progression. That's development. These guys don't know what they're doing. So when they come in and say, oh, we're doing gold board, and now all of a sudden gold board is selling jewelry. Oh, that is. Hey, massa. Gold board is selling jewelry now. You don't even have a refinery. Now I see them, they went to Richard Niyama Quay's office and they were selling gold, and Richard Niyama wrote a check for them and got some gold. So they say, hey, and I'm like, go to the souks of Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Singapore, and you understand what selling gold is. These
Yeah.
guys don't understand. Agro. Too much agro. Anyway, so let me not waste your time. Now that we're here, I took an hour. Now you can ask your questions, but I just want to give you that backdrop for you to now ask your questions on. So go ahead.
Thank you very much, Kofi. And it's wonderful for you to explain to us. Most people are here just because they want to listen to your ideologies and what you have at stake for Ghanaians. The first thing I'm going to ask you is that at what stage did you make the decision to move into politics? What drew you into politics? And most people come into politics. I know that people have the mentality just because there's a lot of money stuck somewhere, and then they and their family want to go and siphon the money into their own personal pocket. What mindset are you bringing into politics? What is your political game as you want to become the president of the Republic of Ghana?
All right. So a couple of things. I don't want to I don't want to be a president. I want to serve my people. So the difference of mindset there. I came in because, or I'm coming in because I see that the level of incompetence surrounding these people who call themselves leaders, it's beyond comprehension. And if we gave MPP NDC without any objection, without any if we gave them 100 years for them to fix Ghana, they won't know how to fix Ghana. Ghana will never be able to be globally competitive. So understanding what competency is, having worked in an environment that is very highly competitive and competent, and when I come to Ghana and I sit with these ministers and I listen to them on television, I know they're clueless. I know they're clueless. They don't
Mm.
see there is a way to, nurse, listen to me. There is a way to do things. When you know how to do something very well, so we nim jollof ye pa na se wako obi jade na ose oye jollof a,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to finish. Eniama no said otwitwa ne gene ase o chi ne nioma ho o di we gu ha no eno atumi ma confidence is akwa ne jollof yi ebekọ yie.
Mm-hmm.
obi nso a oye ku watch me na for America for ya wo pa ben kwan pa me su ma che no wo pe nkate kwan ma che wo nkate kwan no be say 100 million times onya start ya minim say disaster strikes ohunu ye wa start wa che no ABCD no or the basic Z or the be free Z ho no de aba so inti when you are competent and you know how to do things, you could tell when rubber meets the road that this person is going to be a success or this person is going to be a failure. You don't have to wait for, let's wait for President Muhammad to finish his 4 years. Me say, nurse, these guys don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have a clue. Mena make a chemo say they don't have a clue what they do. One more ye be a nom dia disikanum dia ko. Their game is not to fix Ghana. Their game is to give Ghanaians an excuse for them to siphon money. A highway robbery na ye nkofo pii na ehu. But what ti ade na say na wonim de say wo ya. You will know say these guys don't know what they're doing. So, me nim de Ghana for pese hu ansa no wo ye convinced say the West is controlling Ghana and many other African countries. The West is controlling the leaders. The leaders are so clueless, they don't even understand what the West is doing to them. The woman CC driver's seat no mu keke na woman activate autopilot and woman tia ni no woman sre na autopilot na ye bibia it woman call destination pro woman nim.
Kofi, you got into politics. You have good ideologies as you want to enter into politics. Who started politics now? You want to know what stage did you get to where you realized that there was a bit of a blockage in your political career? What has been the difficult, because now people who are here, they want to know you. We are selling the man Kofi Koranteng everywhere. People know you. People want to know you more. We want to know what sort of obstacles have you faced when you started this political career, and then wanting to become the leader of the Ghanaian people. What are the obstacles in Ghana, in abroad, in your political terrain? Share with us. What are the major highlights of Kofi Koranteng in his political career?
Well, let me be very honest with you. Anyone who's come close to me and had a conversation with me, knows where I stand. And with MPP and NDC, they know that they can't work with me. In the sense that menyo bia ubetumi adada me ana ubetumi okay, Kofi has taken this position. It doesn't. Once I make my decision, I've made my decision. Inti me ba first na aman for person ye di sika dada me meji sika memrana menkwa abrochire back to my family nomne ade. But say no, I say me do baby obi anim where I stand into obi anhame. So inti it's a lot easier for me now than it used to be because obi anim said my mind, and they know they say I know what I'm talking about. Say, listen, nurse, let me tell you something about truth. Say, what can be na no crea? Obi onim no crea no on challenge you. Obi onim no crea no, me say on challenge you. Me nko baby anko. I go to functions, I see NDC for, I go Miss MVP for. They never talk to me about politics. They never talked to me about a position B. Say, now I say me I can ye upa udrin Hussein. Now they talk say, hey Kofi, high dream, ye fraud the lion, NDC for fraud the lion. Now says I have NDC people who come and tell me names from their mommy, code names from their mommy, MPP4. But nobody talks to me, say, hey, Massa, no, nobody talks to me because Obianim said they're making no correct. So, inti, listen, but it is so painful to see Ghana go through what it's going through now, because the Americano, the 100 million ton train is coming through the station very soon. It's lost its brakes. A drew station why ain't to me, you know, a beku man na. I'm the only one who could get on a helicopter, jump into the motorman's compartment, and defuse the train so it doesn't run through the station and kill the women and the children. NDC is not going to be able to do it. They're adding more coal to the engine. MPP is adding more coal.
Because if people come to politics, they tell us so many things. They sit on the throne and then they forget all the promises they give to the Ghanaian people. What makes Kofi Koranteng different? And you know, Obi and fan ne sika and bambe which Obi and fly all the way from US, UK, now on Brambe campaign Emma or Ghana. Because Mahama ye, Nanado ye, when they go and sit on the throne, I said there is a curse on the throne, and then people can't think, they can't reason. When you go and sit on the throne, are you not going to portray the same attitude as everybody is portraying?
First of all, Ness,
Obi semen kanjo say, "Uba swear to no poko kure odi obetoma, won swear dia
oh, masa. Fa okaja so on fam rana me fan she mi kotokum. On be be she mi kotokum. Oi. Me come back to so because masa. And they say easy. And so man dey easy. Listen. Listen. Bia person meswe because I'm serious. But anyway, let's get to it. Ness, the Tiana said, me ped na me dear making. Me started can your ma making in 2019. No, everybody thought I was crazy in the MPP NDC. So say, Baumia adapte all the politicians, the candidates, no, me you me free na make na woma feel say na crazy. Me started can say, men pen a mefa 10 ministers. 10 ministers. Why na akasa? Me pen a meka say me ba me change the constitution. Me pen a meka say me ba ye bechi obi a wadi sika bia first crowd ye meka say ye ba obi a wo ye final guilty bia wo wa cause financial loss bia ye beku na asofo obi frame no am say Kofi sa de jai kan na wo beku nipa na ye na say okay. And ye do betum for life. So, nobody can say that. Mama can't say that Oba will be change the constitution. Or the Betty Diagro say, oh, he will make some suggestions to constitutional change. The Oka say Oba will be change the Article 71. Why? He's not going to do it.
Also, was starting constitutional review.
Okay, constitutional review. It doesn't make any damn sense because constitutional review now at all long time ago. Before I even thought say I would become a president, they came to New York and I joined them and they invited me to come to Ghana. Constitutional review. Inti changes as one year to 1992 constitution. That. If they don't want to do anything and say, oh, take commission, one more inquiry. Now, that. Into the, if anything, cradia, mudia, the ohoka cranum pono, munfanya juma. One more be wasted time, sir. I'll be 4 years, ne do na mahama ko. So, inti, what makes Kofi Koranteng different is, Niama meka no, me pena meka. Why na aka so ba obey National Development Plan mandatory? Meko kansa somebody from Mahama team say, oh, na say our national development plan wo na say na mu yusu.
Atonso.
So what good is it say wo na mu yusu a ehun faso ne say.
So, Kofi, why should people from the diaspora who you have said that you decided that you take the government and the electoral commission into court because they want to block the people from the diaspora to vote, and they know that when the people from the diaspora come in, they are going to vote massively, not for the MPP, not for the NDC, but because any Abama on it, we've seen the light. We know that they have come there, they've also seen it, but when they go back, they do nonsense. Now, we can't let that lawsuit, which you won, go unimplemented. How do you want people in the diaspora to support Kofi Koranteng for that implementation to happen?
Well, you see, the entity a de sa representative of the People's Amendment Act call courts, you know, na a progressive alliance movement established with New York. Nkrofo P aka say, oh, Kofi, na ukodru hin one person more twaso, so they haven't done it yet. So they say, me a candidate. Inti ye hia say obi foforo de beko court. Ordinary person, ordinary citizen, or yet diaspora. They say me yet diaspora ni bio. Me te Ghana. Inti ye hia say diaspora phobi group be adopted. Sa you know mo be reopen case na our parliament. Now because Mahama, and that's why I say Mahama is a liar. Mon can't say me Kofi Koranteng, me na me can't no say he's a liar, and he's a liar because September 2014 he came to Worcester in America and said he was going to implement ROPA. Tape no ho. Obi oji mechinye bia onkono Mahama in Worcester. Mahama promises diasporans in Worcester 2014 September. Tape no ho. Na me wo hobby. I'm never going to say something I ain't no credit. So, you're filing for ROPA no. Sa peace way you the can who say Mahama and Kasa Babe promise 2017 Kufuado by New York University. Mena met second row. Or Timenim all kase ROPA and your problem you be implemented. 2017 New York University, Africa House. Inti what makes and so one more base and I stop one say uncle for you yepe on be my DNA Jimmy. Near trim. So inti ye here say diaspora for no be pick it up and I said diaspora for no here MPP and NDC are weaponize your friend saying politics ewo Ghana say obi o Ghana bia o say oye independent candidate and oye political party no MPP and NDC sponsor no except for Kofi Koranteng and maybe one other person. So inti anything that no bisa me make say there's no such thing as a third force. Ya to bia. So and through you will not be able to go through electoral commission because one man weaponized the electoral commission. Think of this, nurse, and tell me if it makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, election as I see a printed ballots. Ballots now yeah printing on. One more designatee be 8 printing presses, not say one more printed. Who is to know say sa printing presses designate woman more printed ballots nina. And one say you buy say political party be amfa ni nipa 2 3 inkojina printing press ho. The electoral commissioner actually sends communicate to you say yes sir or no ankasa electoral commission no entrust no ho. So I tell you, I catch you say your printed ballots, incorrectly into your bed destroy ballots. Why, how that came to be, I don't know. Into obi amra mehe ballots na yebe destroy no. Munu ho 9 o'clock. Ye bedru ho 8 o'clock. Si oh, ade no kroma destroy ne dida.
Mm-hmm.
How can you trust an electoral commission like that? And how do you know say ballots will destroy 10 na woman and 100 na woman? How do you know say 9 printing presses and yet 12 and 15 and I be ni outside of the country I almost printed ballots secretly in one day? Because we saw ballots in the 2020 election ye ko hu ye bebre a woman hu ye in Ashanti region nobody knows where that came from. Inti ballot printing and yet papa and I say there are over 40,000 polling stations. Inti electoral commission never catch you say Kofi 40,000 polling stations wa pe or reps no one got 40,000. Just imagine. Inti ye be wiema ye de befa baby a wo rep ni no na ye wiema fa ho. How will you know? So
Yeah.
Because one digitize the system no, you see there be you digitize you be wiem into ye no manual said obi antumi wiem e no kra no di wiem no. Inti, how does the electoral commissioner expect to say if Kofi Koranteng truly has the mind to lead Ghana, as I said on the day of election, no, minya 40,000 people as I say michi omoka because Ghana adwuma ni ho. Na me mo kotena 40,000 locations see beto aduane ma wo mo meto nsuo ma wo mo. Se minya sa sika na that means say me no election ye be wiem. And that's exactly what happened. In Crawford, ye war polling stations pi ani enim si ebenya numbers. We didn't get the numbers. You didn't get the number. Man to say cheddar baby or no crack of vote ye no. Or no you co vote ye no. 1 penny bar for him. How?
Kofi, how?
So, they do this to play with your mind. They say, oh, you're a joker. Or no crowd when vote to a man who has a grow. Now, your numbers, no, you need reps for all the 40,000 locations. Into one they won't be free. Into electoral commission and a member say, woman yet trustworthy. It's a criminal entity. Men are and they work for MPP and DC. So, we call electoral commission now. We now here. Me say they did everything to won't be me free ballot. No so. No more you say. No more. Just say. How can you say yeah, 2 reps in every district of Ghana, 262 districts of Ghana, no? Yeah, 2 reps will sign it. Now, every rep be signing 1. Yeah, signing they call electoral commission. Electoral commissioner said, as I said, woman rep be all signing or sign it 1, 2, 3, 4. What sense does it make? Rapper or acknowledge said, I endorse Kofi Koranteng to run for president in 2024 elections. No, as I said, I was filling 4 same sheets, no signing. Now, if 1 digit goes off, the electoral commission is willing say, you bet disqualify or say, you frame in the middle of Sunday night to catch him say, men call for no back say, ye buy many sika saying Tino, we decided say signing no signing my no ye no who free at the end intellectual commission say yes I do almost disqualify me. Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
Doesn't make sense.
This is the games they play. So we have somebody call me from electoral commissioner. Oh, we can say, they play with the people. We are sure they call people. Hey, we are sure say me head of Eastern Region I no assign it me form ama me no. Obi we an information. One candidate we an information because yeah say because political parties one more records of nkrofo assign ma wo no. Into say me I just got on the ballot the first time 2024. Into me rep no sign ma me no ye head of Eastern Region no. Obi one information to the share ne paper so. And say electoral commissioner fa ono ne paper first. No womo tabulate the information in the ecosystem no more. Ono na owo jurisdiction over Sardino. They don't care how they got it. Inti me no oye me leader ewo Eastern Region no. Wamo say me nko Eastern Region bio. Wabra na adechia 12 o'clock na say me handing in me paper no. Anadwofa no memfa kanko Eastern Region. Na for the district na me leader na sign in ye no. Me nkɔhwehwɛ nkrɔfo 2 no wɔn sign in ma me nyesa wɔn be disqualify me. Na me say mabodam. And I had my lawyers write a letter from London to the electoral commissioner to threaten them so they will put an injunction on the ansana wamoma may pass.
Oui.
How? Just say one more day say your baby beer to get you off. They will hey massa me say me electoral commission ho. Just say in a democracy I say one more year no am de boa nkrofo no am help nkrofo na that's not what they want. Meanwhile one ma 100,000 cedis na yetua do. One more person one ya no you free. Every minute no be afraid. Oh, we have seen say your 4 looks like a 7, so it doesn't come up on no polling member number looks like that. Inti ebiana ni pa chrono 4 no, it looks like a 7 and otherwise. Inti they ni be correct to you every man disqualify because of sa one you know. Ye ni nyansa. Just say ni pa chrono junior de ba be boane ye de be your man de ye nwini hu. Ye disqualify wo. Just say to get on the ballot, a bigger responsibility saying Eduma will be as president. So,
yeah,
this is what they do. Electoral commissioner.
Kofi, have you been handed some huge sums of money to let go of this political career of yours?
They attempted, but obviously, when we said Americano, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't even think that men you know twice.
So what was this go? And you know, so the more I don't know.
Oh, there be said you me buy you. I came to serve my people, and you see can't buy it. So I'm not just say I'm a time crash will be make sa attempt to know. A mammy bufu cry say I don't cast me Jimmy and I mean it really makes me upset. See, I don't take crown to I don't know so crown a driver me say no crabby or honor me say me be ye chile Ghana for. Massa, ya ko money ya ko hunyo mo. Ya ko hunyo ma.
And your money best okay be train.
Massa.
Because I say amount for Ghana, they are not crazy enough. They are not angry enough because they don't hear the things you see. They don't experience what you experience because we are on the edge.
MPP, NDC are for they are criminal organizations. Wamo Ghana for whom and to da and Ghana ain't to me ye under MPP NDC da. Ghana is controlled by a Western entity and yet Ghana for the control Ghana.
And yet Mahama and go for the control Ghana.
90 who control Ghana now wo unya gold 10 billion. Now down who could 3 billion free IMF are now in Nyansa. Why do you know who control Ghana anka gold no won't ton or well sikem or oil won't ton or well sikem. Wukoko won't ton or well sikem. Aduane ben na we over 60% of aduane a yedi wo Ghana ye import. Over 7 million households here in destitution. Omo ye poor. Poor. I mean, and yet poor in Chen.
No.
7.3 million households. How do you control your nation when you are the richest, one of the richest nations in the world? Number 6 in the whole of the world in gold and number 1 in the whole of Africa. Do you control? Control. How do you spell control? No, and your control now may be. You don't control your country. The West controls your country, and they will never let it go because these puppets, they give them a little bit of money and they push them to the side and do what they want with the country. And Ghana for munti, just say, Masa.
$2024. My question is not about you. 2024. On a chadanya issue.
There be a many challenge issue.
I want from him so on a chada issue pa.
Oh, and you're not correct. I could call cheddar right now. Many cheddar issue. Many cheddar issue. Crowd pa fre cheddar sisi anabisa.
Who do you think you can pair with that is going to be a formidable force?
Cheddar.
For 2028.
Cheddar.
One cheddar kasa for 2028.
Menene kasa when did I speak with you? Last time menene cheddar kasa was in December. I checked.
What is your plan to have Cheddar and yourself on one ballot paper 2028?
Well, you see, the crazy card no kasa. Without a doubt, Cheddar has the money it's in his hands. So per se, yeah, Juma together, that's for him to make the call. So I say, I'm ready.
Kofi, one Cheddar ebetinasi edin komo about 2028.
Friend is a no I check. Friend is a your line you see. Now conference no BNTB. Friend is a na conference.
Kofi, April, me ba Ghana. Me no one Cheddar ebetinasi at tea.
Other than April, why not tonight? Other than April.
No, because you see, there is a lot of people who call me on daily basis, and most people from the diaspora who want to put in support. They want to put in not just presence, financial support, physical support. Some of them have said on during the day of election they will fly all over to come and vote. If the ticket would be you, Cheddar, or Afrafranto.
Afrafranto is a redecorated MPP. He doesn't have any plans, and you don't want him. He's out of the game. Retire him.
That's what I'm saying. That if there is a combination of these figures I'm mentioning, the diasporans take me, my words for sure, that the diasporans are ready to come out to vote massively. When there is a ticket coming out as Kofi Koranteng and Cheddar, How do we make this possible?
Well, there's only one person who can answer that, and it's not me. It's Cheddar. Listen, if Cheddar were available and had said, say, Kofi, let's get to work, I would have started work in January. We now in December.
Have you tried?
I can't get him.
Why not? Because that's what I'm saying. Is there a
Let me
banter?
say,
Is
let me
there a
say,
banter between Kofi and Cheddar? Why
you're
can't there
not
be Kofi
listening.
and Cheddar on a ticket?
Let me say, why are you don't take my word for it. Just call the guy. You can only you can only know you can only know the truth if you call the guy. Because who from me granted, oh Kofi didn't throw. Okay, why don't you call him and say, did you get a call from Kofi? Were you willing to sit with Kofi? Let's get it. And then see what he said. When can you get Cheddar on the line and interview him? Can you get Cheddar on the line to interview him?
It's difficult.
I feel now kind of cray.
No, sir, it's difficult. But me as a civilian, me Cheddar will name me. But only more. So it's easy for Cheddar to see Kofi Koranteng call. Okay, or the business thing you have to channel pick Kofi Koranteng call because obviously it's a business call and it's a call for Ghana.
They say Opa, and yes, you are anka mefre ne number two guy on no woho or ten in chances here mefre no na anka ya conference in was idea to say Cheddar we now what I'm not kidding you. Me say Opa. I wouldn't be on him na. Wouldn't be on him no. Why is this difficult? Who be some me? Mr. Makamedi actually say, me, I'm ready to go.
So okay, don't worry. I know people who know Cheddar, and I just wanted a confirmation from you, because obviously
I'm ready.
You've come out to say that there are there are other people on the ballot box who you have issues with that you can't join us because they are.
Listen, nobody else on the ballot is ready for Anamoa PCUT. I'll be very honest with you. Chairman Ting is not ready. He's a decorated MPP guy. The Uncle Ford won't be MPP for. He's not ready for what we want to do. He's not. I'll be very honest with you. He's not ready. And he's part of the problem, to be honest with you. And yes, what's in all casa different in Timo Bemano. He's the same damn MPP, man. If he wanted to be considered differently, he should have gone out of this mess a long time ago. He stayed in there, enjoyed the benefits of MPP, and now you tell me we want to give him. Oh, come on, man. That's not how I work. Man, masa. Man, money break a cry. Man, money break a cry. Man, can't no credit na actually Ghana food now. Man, money break. He's part of the mess. Look at how much money he pumped into Commander Sugar Factory. $89 million. Where is Commander Sugar Factory now? Indian phobia na tete honum na. So I'm a bomb pay or host, so I'm a waste. But waste Ghana Fusika. Obi say Kofi join with CPP. CPP is a criminal organization, worse than MPP and NDC.
Sani pano or frame area will say Megan Cho say one Samia and Chroma. Oh Samia dear.
Samia is a good friend of mine. We talk. Samia is not willing to do anything unless you don't know Samia.
Yeah,
May I go to Samia?
She's very called in.
I go to Samia's house. We talk. Samia is a good friend of mine. Samia is not willing to do anything. Oh no. They or no as they CPP for a year no. Or be catch the one. Ka say hey Samia. Or ka CPP for asema. Oh, shit.
Oh God.
I'm not lying to you. You could call Samia and say, listen, Masa.
Anyway,
And yeah,
I won't keep you for long. My last question: how are you? What is your plan to attack corruption?
very easy. We're the only person who will eradicate corruption by doing three things. We're going to do it administratively, psychologically, and legally. Administratively, no. You better employ systems. Okay. We're going to bring in distributed ledger technology in terms of all transaction registries, be it Ghana, we're going to make it AI with distributed ledger technology. Every transaction is going to be measured, calculated, and is going to show up in all the registers. It's going to be impossible for you to change something, take something. Will have a date stamp, your name stamp, details of obi or yeah transaction. And to be wrong, alarm goes off, alarm a blue. And we'll put in systems. So systems, a system which is predetermined, and it's a behavioral performance mechanism, a predetermined an endeavor. Inti say maybe a daffo for when we get a chance and I talk about systems, you know how we get from establishing what we call with a mastermind, establishing a master key to get a master class to develop, a master system. And the master system derives what we call a system, and the system brings about structures and then a standard. The standard is what gives rise to what we call a model. And from the model, you build everything because you have a model, you have the template that you're using to build. And that's what these guys don't understand. Me, I trained with Keith Cunningham in Connecticut. He's a godfather of systems. I trained under him, and we can systematize it. Or Ghana. As far as corruption, administratively, legally, instantaneously, you get processed and you get punished. So, a system, a leadership system of excellence, it punishes corruption and substandardness, and it promotes competence. It promotes that is the structure of a functional government system, which we don't have and we don't understand. People do wrong and get away with it. People do right, nobody knows about it, nobody compensates them. You have to be able to sharply identify these variations, and if there's something to punish or to change, you do it. So, the way we're going to deal with corruption is, effect, punishment. Said you be able to say punishment aba. Everybody stay away from it. Punishment no so nye punishment now. So when we are 10 million now to me the 2 million buy you be only be. Nyanse be any. Punishment no say we are 10 million now. What the 10 million plus interest plus charges. Ene beba wasan demo aka ho ni agye onioma na aka ho to send a strong message say it doesn't pay. Ghana or punishment we are 10 what the 2 buy say we twa bi nti we the nya no. Nyanse bi anim e better nipa be ja kronobo. So eno ne legally the administratively mature in terms of you be use distributed ledger technology. Said obi antumi nye bibia ensure or register so. And psychologically and they say you be changing your curriculums at a very early age. Say who we are there, it affects you, it affects the system, it affects the country. Into in we are there, it doesn't pay. You know, we have maybe to say Abu Trika where did say yeah chinampa. He's going to lose all the benefits. No near ye, he's going into a lifestyle. So God forbid near the need to you're convicting a do di any nan ekusi saying. So
Mhm.
nti you be show examples of nkrofo real cases are corruption wow, stay away from it, and
Mm.
we'll pump that side in all the sectors. Ministry of Education baby I bet you billboards now mode adifoɔ abɔnefoɔ ayɛ yɛwɔ Ghana na ayɛ billboards wɔ Ghana now no yɛbɛyi saa nkwasasɛm ni na yɛde billboards a ɛkyerɛ nkurɔfoɔ sɛ honor your country. Ɛnyɛ billboards a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔkyena adifoɔ wei bɛ show up on asɔre yi no wama wo anya visa akɔ aburokyire.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we got to change the curriculum and the mindset.
Have your family, friends, and people around you ever told you to give up on this journey of your politics?
Oh, and baby, I'm fighting it right now. Me no, cause I'm fighting it. Master, hey, you're vicious. When you're ready, I don't go. The backlash from me and my family here more than what I've gotten from MPP and DC. I won't lie to you. It's tough. Listen. Do baby na me tell me susa. Ain't easy. Hey, ain't easy. Man, nada. Ain't easy, man.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have Kofi Koranteng, who is our brother, our friend, our father, and the presidential candidate for New Vision Movement. The diasporans have fallen in love with you. They like the knowledge that you share. They like your vision. People love what you say. We want it to be put in action. And you know, we have put in an agenda to support it, to support your agenda. Everybody have sent me messages and wanting me to bring you on a couple of times so that they can still hear the good message that you are putting out there. Like I said, I'll come to Ghana in April. Iba Ghana, I'll personally meet you. You have a major interview where I'll set up all my stuff. You have an interview ahead of um, 2028 election. Me and you, hopefully, inshallah, by God's grace, we're going to meet each other. Hopefully, by God's grace. So Nyankopɔn nsa wɔ mu deɛ a, and then we'll see how we can take this.
Oba ni ese we tu kwan ko California now or ko China obere.
I'll prepare ahead of time before I come.
Okay.
And may approach you. I'll prepare before I come.
Okay.
And so yeah, we'll prepare. We are hopeful because obviously we as you say, we can't deal with the MPP and NDC. We would need to have Kofi Koranteng Cheddar in office to deal with the things that are happening in Ghana. And you know, we want to see how best we can deal with that. My last question is on 2027. I say John Drummond Mahama has been proposed as the AU chairman coming 2027. If I say me your congratulations message I would John Drummond Mahama ahead of
It's me need congratulatory message via man. It's a total waste of time. Total waste of time. They who here no yet. Total waste of time. Listen, let me tell you something about African leaders. They're party celebration. It pisses me off, really. So their party said, "Yen celebrate be. They be no man baby na a celebration. Ye ni you cut a sword. Ye, why don't you sit down with people who are and plan the country? Masa, you walk ahead. Yet don't by say be AU president. Yet don't by say be AU president. AU when we would tell me we are all year in retirement and they won't be found AU president. Say you don't have time for AU president. Your country is burning, say I will say AU president. agro na mudio. Let me tell you something. Do you next miss me for question now? Do you honestly believe, say, in this current trajectory, we have a chance to be globally competitive?
No.
AU president.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the relevance of that?
You're joking.
What's agro na mudio?
Oh, God.
Chuku ehine tunumudi nkwasi asam wo Ghana mo bechi wo megu clean system no. The Nigerians are moving in.
Oh, in chunks
The
in chunks,
Masa,
pa.
Masa, they will flood Ghana. Mube huanu ama flood Ghana. Jiji bibia jie guess aji
Yes, and quite so.
mudia gro.
Yes, and quite so much. Much that. Much yes, in our so.
Hey, mudia gro. Hey, Ness, let me tell you how easy this thing is. Ghanaians abroad bring in over $6 billion a year. $6 billion. Woman the good system num. Woman ye tax. Woman ye fee. The good system num because ubia busia ahochire. Sax 6 billion no. Mimi proposal ne say. Obi any 1% of the siko deba. Teacher say what the 100 cedis, $100 back Ghana every year. Ye $1 na fa boa yen because 1% of 6 billion no is $60 million.
Mm.
Who is going to suffer if they take out 1% of money at the Ghana every year? One time, 1 year no every year bia ubeyi say sika no dia koboa wabusuafo Ghana. Ye one time contribution of 1%. Ni emfa fix Ghana wose wonye. Diaspora for enyansa wo de ye kan. 1%. Sika no wuyi deda. Enye se wunyi wuyi deda. Ena wuyi this year, ubeyi the next year. Inti 4 years no kra na wuyi no. It really equates to just 25 cents of $100, because say we $1 one time, na just say we in the second year, we in the third year, we in the fourth year. Inti emfa say you did 1 year we good. Inti you 3 years to go to age 2028. Inti 6 billion I will be in the next year. Next 2027, 2028 no. 2026, 2027, 2028, you $1 for 3 years nina. That means 33.3 pesos, 33.3 cents. One time to save yourself from taking the 6 billion every year. How can this be not an option? Must say, oh, Kofi, man, you don't get it, man. Okay. Mo mamen cancer menchiremo. Would dina would the hundreds of $1,000s akusi. We japade na ewo ho. Wo maame wo papa a ote ho a esese wo to aduro ma no no. Obeyare ewu. Edan na ebesei. Electricity, wo ba akra wunya electricity. Nti edan na wo be lusu asase na obi befa. Because rules and regulation in Yejuma, law and order in Yejuma, it will contribute to 33.3 pesos cents. Now the ama Kofi Koranteng say, "Kona ko fix here." Say, "Yeah, well, yeah, you deserve to lose the house. You deserve say, Uba Ghana. With him, the one thing you could Ghanaian diaspora for." You know the statistic? You know what kills Ghana for diaspora for power? Ghana for about Ghana. Ghana British for about Ghana. No. We need the power more than anything. Guess. Yeah. Give me one guess. I know you get it wrong, but guess anyway. Yes. Guess it. Then I'll feel say British for about Ghana every year, power. Then.
So about the rate at which they lose a lot of their money, their pounds and their.
But then you almost death in America.
Oh,
then
death.
I'll feel say.
Oh, I'm gonna say stress ne road accident.
Okay, accident, road accident, they cool more than anything.
Mm.
Season, you're right. Road accident, they
Mm.
cool more. Akwan nso yenye ni ye.
Mm.
And they're not planning so be ni ye.
Mm.
So, inti si ya fa just say me dream ho a Accra Kumasi road a eye one lane. Yɛde sika kakra bɛka ne ɛbɛyɛ ne two lanes koraa na ɛbɛsave nipa no. Yɛsi o dabi yɛkɔyɛ expressway foforɔ ɛyɛ 6 mesi bɛyɛ 10 years na wɔn nyɛ saa adeɛ wɔ nwie nti between now and time wɔn bɛyɛ no ɛbɛku nipa saa. Me, I don't get it though. Na wote aburokye na saa nkurɔfoɔ wɔ yi aba na wɔn ka wɔ kyerɛw na ɔgye di sɛ oh MPP oh Mahama to aso asa. Adwene no wɔ fam. Nti na ɛsɛ yɛda ase. Abusuafoɔ na yɛda mo ase for your time. Hopefully we get to meet again. Obiara nso a wɔhwɛ yɛn a wɔwɔ sika a wɔde bɛboa yɛn na wɔsɛ screw the diaspora Kofi me a meba Ghana may open up an account $50 million. Let's go. Let's do this, man. Because at this point, ɛnyɛ den to get rid of MPP NDC. If you go out and you push your word out and you Masa, call one place in the whole country I me call ya me can masema nkrofo ka say oh wo boa what say MPP NDC da. Me kwa me catch them say me nisika me be chama mu but me can no kre na kire mo. There was always a group of people who ka say I pay me nim no down so and say oh yeah papa. People can always fish you out. Say, "What kind of cry now? Who didn't try?"
Yeah.
Me kwa do me bet me ayan say me ni sika me dey ba be chama mo. Me kind of cry na chire. So, nti ye do bi ase. Onwene mu nuanom ho Ghana because baby a Ghana nam no the only reason nti a Ghana eda so enfeli ye no because abrofo na wo mo control Ghana no wo mo twe milk and honey na free Ghana wo mo nya ntwe ye cocoa ni ye gold ni ye oil ni nwie ya Ghana ni ntumi mfeli because wo mo no mo nya ho faso enya Ghana fo nti don't think say by virtue say Ghana eda so gina ho no je say Mahama ya de bi abrofo no na enya ye ho emfaso nti na Ghana na ense ye no
Okay. Okay. Kofi, Wakasa, we want to thank you very much for the time you've given to us. It's much appreciated. The next time it will be a Q&A session with the people who would want to ask you questions. And into no better planning now. Yeah, but be a Q&A session. I think that most people who are coming here, both in Ghana diaspora in different places, who would want to put in their funds to support you, would have a lot of questions to ask. Definitely, we will have me and Bisa question more. But I'm going to plan a Q&A session where I'm not going to talk. I'm going to give people an opportunity to ask Kofi Koranteng questions, so that he can answer the questions in a way that you would prefer. Kofi, Yado, Yamin Shaw.
Love you too, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when I come to Ghana, I'm gonna see you live in Calais and you have a discussion.
Mate.
Yamin Shaw.
All the best, man. Me do be ase, ebusiafo.